Black people know things white people don't. Before I go on, you can check my video notes for the references I used to create this video. Generations of white Americans were raised with a story that made us feel like heroes. We learned about abolitionists, not about the banks that provided insurance on enslaved people. We learned about the civil rights movement, but not about the white mobs who terrorized black families for trying to move into a better neighborhood. Systemic racism didn't just hurt black people, although they were the ones that took most of it, but it also misinformed white people. And that pisses me off. It trained us to see unfairness and injustice as progress. That's why when black folks talk about redlining, medical racism, or why certain laws hit their communities so much harder, many white people are just confused, or worse, and probably more commonly, they're defensive. It's not just ignorance, it's conditioning. The system made sure we didn't see the whole picture, because once we did, we might start asking too many questions. White people need to hear the truth from people who live it. But that takes a toll on black people. They've had to survive what we've only begun to learn about. And it's not fair to put that burden on them. That's why I study, listen, and talk to other white folks. It's not about guilt, and it's not about blame. It's about repair. Black people already know this history. White people need to know it too, because it's our history. It's our history too. Silence keeps the system working in the way that is unjust. Don't be afraid. You should be mad about what was kept from you on purpose. Now you have the opportunity to learn about it and start organizing your life differently. I am not an expert, but I love learning.
I firmly believe that if we put all white people on one continent, there would be a new class system or race system that emerged. People would then start discriminating against blonde people, or there would be some sort of class system that's so severe that if you don't come from money, that you're not being helped. Because that's the thing, someone commented this to be like, oh, well, if we put all the white people on a continent, then crime will disappear. The implication behind this comment is that black and brown people are the ones who are committing crimes, and that's why racism is justified. But in reality, white people have been looking for ways to segregate and separate people for centuries. The concept of a race was invented because there was too much solidarity among workers, and so they wanted to find a way to make white workers feel better than black workers so that they wouldn't be able to unite and essentially unionize against people who were exploiting them, aka the white elite or ruling class. And you still see billionaires today profiting off of our division. If we all organized against them effectively, they would have to pay taxes. We wouldn't allow them to be billionaires in the first place, and yet white people are too busy creating racial division. So yeah, I firmly believe that if all white people were put onto a continent, racism wouldn't go away. It would just change form. So maybe like white people with brown eyes would be discriminated against. It'd be some arbitrary factor. White people love to play the victim in basically any situation, and I say this as a white person. It is a pattern that I have witnessed time and time again, especially when white people are called out for their terrible behavior. That is why they continue to gaslight black and brown people when they talk about their experiences with racism, because they don't want to admit that they've done anything wrong. And white victimhood is a classic tenet of white supremacy, and more specifically, it is a classic behavior that white women will take part in. Like white woman tears because the actual thought of taking responsibility for any of their actions is repulsive to them. And that's why if you want to fully deconstruct and to be a better ally, you have to get over yourself. You have to get over the fact that you've been taught to play the victim your entire life. Because the reality is that in a system that you are quite literally benefiting from, you cannot possibly be the victim in these situations. The people who are truly being victimized by the system are black and brown people who are being paid less, who are being mistreated, who are being victims of hate crimes. So today, think about how you can get over yourself and stop being a victim in order to better support the people around you, which starts with actually listening to their experiences instead of trying to interject your own intentions or your own experiences. Because at the end of the day, it's not about you.
My issue with white American males insisting on being proud of themselves is how close to recognizing all the horrible shit that the white American male does still in this country, because the white population is dominant in the United States, okay? It's dominant, and the white American male is by far the most dominant, because you're running by majority this country, right? So not only historically have you oppressed, slaughtered, and oppressed again other populations in the United States, but you're still fucking doing it. You can build and run a bank, but you're oppressing people still within that bank. You can own 30% of housing in a state, in a county, in a tri-state area, but you're still oppressing people. You can run the government, own the government by majority, but you're still oppressing people. So when you say, I'm proud of who I am, man, what are you proud of? Because you're still oppressing people. Are you proud of the oppression? Are you proud of it? Because as a species, the white American male arguably is doing more harm than good to other people. That's why you're having so much pushback by people. That's why you intrinsically feel ashamed. And it's not a group of people in your inner circles or around you that is making you feel oppressed with your pride. It is in your heart, man. It's in your brain. You know that you guys have fucked up and you're still fucking up. Yeah?
Given the choice, I would rather be trapped in a room with an immigrant of any racial background rather than a white American man. The reason why is because white American men grow up with a sense of entitlement that the entire world revolves around them. Both times that I have experienced assault in my past have been at the hands of white men, and of course the justice system did absolutely nothing to protect victims. The thing that bothers me the most about this xenophobia is the fact that most immigrants are coming to the United States to make a better life for themselves. They are escaping persecution. They are not here to grape white women or to assault American citizens or bring crime, as Trump and the other conservatives say. And in fact, the people who I fear more than anything are absolutely white men, and as is evidenced in the Epstein files, or just even if you open an American history textbook. And the projection is insane. They are always looking for someone to blame, which is of course why Laken Riley's case, may she rest in peace, has gotten so popular. Because in the very rare instance that a brown man does pop out of the bushes and assault a white woman, it is now national news and her name is living on forever. Because again, it's so rare that events like this happen. Immigrants are not here to bring crime. They are beautiful, amazing human beings. And if we're gonna be honest, throughout history, the true criminals have been white men. Peace and love. We talk about how ironic it is that the right demonizes people of color when the only time I feared for my life has been around a white man. I get so many hate comments like these few here. Most of the time I just write it off as immature, angry men, but the times that I've genuinely been scared that violence was going to be inflicted upon me have been white men. Not to mention that a lot of domestic violence, as well as many mass shootings, are committed by white men. There are going to be people in any demographic that commit crimes, but the fact that the right focuses so intensely on the single crime that a person of color commits is so dishonest. Some of the craziest things that have happened to me since I started posting is that I've gotten my account banned because white supremacists mass reported me for being underage, which I'm clearly not. They found my phone number and leaked it, so I had to change my phone number. They tried to get me fired by contacting any school in Chicago to see if I worked there. There was even an online page to see who was calling which school. I've literally been called a race traitor and told that I will be lynched along with POC. So no, people of color aren't the problem here. It is white men, and that's why I make the content I do. They prove it to me more and more every single day why it's necessary.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. How are you doing? Hope you're fine. Alright, today we'll be talking about a topic that has people asking a very uncomfortable question. What happens when a system created to benefit like a certain group of people or a certain group start producing consequences that affect that very people who once benefited from it? And now some white Americans are having conversations that sound very different from what we may have had in the past. People are warning each other, questioning old assumptions, and asking whether the system and the polity and the policies, right, that shape the society can continue operating in the same way forever. Now, let's be clear. We are not talking about every white American, right? We are talking about specific voices, conversation, and reaction that are becoming more visible in the public debates. And honestly, this is where things get like very, very interesting, because when a system appears to work in your favor, you may not even spend much time, right, questioning how it operates. But when the rules begins to change, or when the consequences start reaching people you never expected to be affected by it, suddenly the conversation can sound very different. Okay, let's come to think of it. Let's think of it this way. It's like someone enjoying a game for years because they understand all the rules, right? And then one day the rules change. Suddenly everyone wants to know or wants to read the rule book. And that is what many people are debating today. Is the system really changing? Is it finally becoming more equal? Or are some people simply becoming more aware? You understand? Like more aware of the problem that other communities have been warning about for generations. This is where the conversation become like very complicated. Some people believe society is moving towards greater equality, right? That is moving towards greater equality, and that change are necessary to correct long-standing imbalance. Though others believe that certain change has gone too far or are creating new forms of unfairness, right? This is why the debate is so intense. It's just so intense. People are coming out with different opinions. One side says, we have been warning you about this for years. While the other side says, wait a minute. Like, what is really happening now? What is really happening? Like, wait. What is really happening now? Right? But here is the bigger question. Can a society create a fair system, right, without simply replacing the one form of inequality with another? Because real justice should not be about one group winning while the other group loses. It should be about building systems that are fair, transparent, and accountable to everyone. And perhaps most of the important lesson here is this: when people finally start questioning a system, the conversation should not immediately become a shouting match, like people shouting, you know, voicing out anyhow. It should not become a shouting match. We should ask, who created this rule? Who benefited from them? Who was left behind? And what happens when those rules begin to change? Because honestly speaking, history has shown us that system can evolve, policy can change, public opinion can shift, and sometimes the people who never expected to be affected by a system suddenly find themselves having a different conversation, right? They suddenly find themselves having a different conversation. All right, that's it so far. So now I want to hear from you guys. Do you believe the system is genuinely changing? Are people becoming more aware of the issue that have existed for a long time? And do you think real equality means changing the system completely, or reforming it so that it works fairly for everyone? What do you think? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? What is your view on this? What's your opinion on this? All right, I would like you to drop your thoughts in the comment section below, and please, like as usual, keep the conversation respectful, because this is a complicated issue and people are going to have like different opinion. Different opinion about this. So drop your thoughts in the comment section, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notification for more biggest reaction and discussion on everyday happening around the world. Once again, this is Chat Confetti TV, where you don't just watch the conversation, we talk about it, and we hear your opinion about it. All right guys, bye. See you all in my next video. Ta-da. Mwah.